So the plan for the day is to walk out this trail, eventually going off trail and going up to a ruin that I visited about, I think in 2012. Found a few petroglyphs. As I recall, the whole area was pretty dense with vegetation, so there might be more. The ones I saw, I was probably just lucky. So that's worth another look. And maybe, well, I was reading something about a mammoth petroglyph, which I'm very doubtful of. But we're going to go by the site along this trail where that's claimed. And I'll see if I can find it and take some pictures. Maybe I'll be convinced or you'll be convinced, but I'm doubtful. I'm in the area where I remember taking a picture of my favorite saguaro cactus. And I don't see it. Maybe that I'm not really close enough to where it was, but you know, it probably fell down. Another crossing. Somebody's arranged some stepping stones, which help. There's an old ranch up ahead. It's abandoned now, I think, and I think it's even changed hands. I think the mining company owns that land. But I guess this is the remnant of the road they used to use to get there. Well, I've been walking a little less than 2 hours, but this is where I plan to leave the trail. And go that way. And part of the way up that hill. Heading toward that ruin site, or ancient habitation site I mentioned, and hopefully we'll see a few other things along the way. Well, you can see where people like to live around here, 1,000 or 10,000, depending if you believe mammoths or not. Years ago, this creek is one of the better ones in the area. Well, that looks like a piece of pottery down there. Not typical orange stuff, but let's see. That is certainly pottery. It's plain grayware pottery, which is not the kind of stuff I'm used to finding. But this is shows people lived right around here. This is a nice spot, sort of flat and above the creek. So that's what I want to see, stuff like this. I just picked up another piece, similar type, and I see a couple others, I think, on the ground here too. Right there. Yep. That looks like a piece down here. Yep. There's pottery, smooth on both sides. Well, my plan is to walk up that little hill and then to turn right. Lots of these funny yellow flowers. I don't know what kind this is. Okay, I can see a petroglyph on the edge of this boulder here. There you go. Not too bad. It's I would say archaic style. Got a little bit of spirally character, circle character, but it's nice. Got a little bit of a shadow from this tree, but I don't think I'll knock it down. Okay, so here's this one over here. It's got more going on. You see a couple of concentric circle patterns. Down low, and there's one up high. There's another one. It's an interesting character here. It's got a fat body with a cross in it. And quite nearby is this outlined cross. It's a common thing in these parts. That's a pretty simple one. And I see something on this rock over here. I'll go get one. We've got some more circly type things. Maybe I can go away. Squiggle there on the end. Not too far away, I see something else that's interesting. This one's interesting. The whole top of the rock looks like it's been, rubbed a little bit. Look at this one down here. That one had a lot of structure. May have been rubbed out. And then I just noticed right behind me, on the backside of this rock, there's something sort of interesting looking. That's rather intricate. Again, probably very old. It's completely abstract, geometric, or a map. You decide. And on the rock next to this one, I see another one. It's in the sun and shade. Maybe I can shade it with my body there. Oh, there's quite a lot of stuff on this rock. And on the side here too. Oh, look at these. Some, let's call those streamers, the teeth. Not bad. More than I'm expecting up here. Here's a big rock in the area. It ought to have something. Is that pottery down there? Yep. That pottery? Yep. So here's some more normal orange pottery. Both sides. All right, back to the rock. Oh, that's a very old mark on it. Look at that spiral. That's like one we're going to see later down at the bottom at the purported mammoth glyph site. I'm impressed by that one. It stands out with the orange lichen. Clearly was carefully done. Sort of a diamond type spiral. Next to the flowers, next to the lichen. Well, here it is, and I can see there's something on top as well. It's an interesting one. I sort of like it. On top looks like a lizard man. Haven't seen many of those today yet. And I'm leaning up against that rock and look off to the side. And there's another lizard man, better one. There you go. Should be a little better view. It's a nice one. Well, I'm on top of the little rise here. The hill keeps going, but I'm not going up there. These, I think, are foxtail. In another month or so, they're really going to stick in your socks. They're terrible. And here's some nice globe mallow, these orange flowers. That's as much botany as I can do. I'm going to be heading down that way. I think what we see there's that little shelf above the creek. I think that's where the ruin is that we're headed to. Well, I think I ought to go look at those. I see 4 big rocks, maybe more. It'd be a good place to put petroglyphs. I'm going to go have a look at those. Well, this is a really nice meadow. Flat. A great place to live. I didn't see any petroglyphs in those rocks. Found a few more rocks though, and this one at least looks like it's had some grinding on it. That top is obviously been rubbed. I guess we usually call that a grinding slick. So that's just some people were using these. I mean, that would be a great resource, a flat rock like that, if people were living around here. Well, this is the worst excuse for a balloon I ever found. It shows they do go away eventually. I can't make out, what does this blue thing say? But, love you, bro. 4. Cool. May have had a golf theme. Happy birthday, golf. Who knows? This is almost certainly a man-made edge. It's funny, this is way overgrown. I think it might be worse than when I was here last time. We'll see what we can find, if anything. Looks like it might be continuing along. I think this thing has a big perimeter, which initially I could see in the satellite. That's what drew me to it. I think that's what we're looking at here. Although I think I noticed recent satellite pictures make it much harder to see. It's all overgrown. Yeah, it's all part of the perimeter. I think the corner is right about it here in this bush. You can see it continues up that way. Pottery here. I'm sure there's places where there's more than this, but this is the type of pottery, this orange on one side. There's a view looking down at the creek from the ruin. You can see they had access to water. Well, here's a part of the ruin overlooking the creek. I'll walk back up into it. See what we can see. You can see some more rock. It's down. See these? You can see these are tumbled walls. Hard to imagine what it looked like. But it was a habitation site. Here's some more internal ruin wall that's collapsed, but look at these giant barrel cactus here. They're really big. This one I think is taller than me. Yes. That's a big barrel. You can see some structure over there. This may well have been a room here. Near wall by me, and then far wall over there. I think it's another room here. You can see that wall over opposite, and under my feet I'm sort of standing on a wall. That likely defines it. I think last time I was here it was less overgrown. Perhaps I'll stick a picture in. I remember the first time I saw one of these, it was like a metallic dandelion. It's not. They got some other name. I can't remember it, but I'll type it in here if I can find it. I just spotted one, and this is one that I remember well from last time I was here, because this I think is the best one. So let's go over and look at it. Got a well, this one is, you know, it's a maze of some sort. It's got a little bit of the same spiral characteristic of this one, which is a beauty. It's got a few things on the side, this spiral. My random walk down the hill's paying off. I've been following a string of rocks, and look at that, two very nice outline crosses. Those are really nicely made. It's the bottom one. And the top one. That's a beauty. Well, I'm a little more than 5 hours into this walk. I've made it back to the main trail. I'm sitting down next to a bush to get out of the wind so I can talk without a lot of wind noise. I mentioned mammoths at the beginning, and let me tell you the story about that. I've been to the main petroglyph site along this trail a couple times, although probably not for 10 years. On one of those trips, a wrangler on horseback with a couple of his customers in tow asked me if I'd seen or was going to point out to me the mammoth petroglyph, and I was polite, but I didn't really believe there's mammoth petroglyph. But it's always sort of stuck in my mind, and when I was planning for this trip I'm taking today, I said, well, let me just see if there's anybody on the internet who talks about the mammoth petroglyph. And much to my surprise, I found an actual, semi-scholarly report by professional archaeologists who were doing a report for the owners of the land, who make a good case that this is a real mammoth petroglyph. Now I'm doubtful of that. I looked, that thing came out in 2004. I can't find anybody else, any other legitimate source who says there's mammoth petroglyphs in Arizona. Now, mammoth fossils have been found in Arizona, of course. And recently, mammoth petroglyphs have been claimed to be in Utah. And I think there's a little more of a consensus that that might be true. And I think the oldest petroglyphs in the U.S. are either in Nevada or Oregon. I'll stick a couple of pages in the video that but we're going to go and have a look. It's a nice site. There's lots of things there. But we'll try to find the mammoth one in particular, and so that, well, we'll see what we think. Well, this is the petroglyph site I was talking about. There's a lot of rocks, there's a lot of petroglyphs, and it's right off the trail. I don't want to advertise this site, but a lot of people know about it. See, there's a quite faint old glyph there on this rock. You can see standing back from this, you see there's quite a lot of stuff there, and on that rock behind as well. Over here too, you can see a lot of this is very old stuff. It's completely, well, don't have any patination. Whether that's because of the type of rock it is, or the fact that it's so old that it's repatinated is hard to tell. Here again, look at that. Those are vertical lines, parallel. They're all made. These are ancient petroglyphs. I don't know if there's any way to know how old they are, but of course it's quite a stretch to say they're as old as Ice Age type stuff. This one, well, I don't think I'm going to climb on top, but you can see here's a spiral. Hopefully I'm pointing at it, and I would hold my arm up to see these. Same way over there. I don't think we have to see every single one, but this is certainly, this is nice. Look at that. That's a, you know, a Band-Aid type design. And here's another one. They weren't made accidentally. That's intentional design. So I think you can see it. Certainly a nice petroglyph, and old. See some on that rock over there. We'll move around, get some more. Oh, I see some bedrock metates here. You can see the these are oval and deep grinding holes. You put your seeds in there and take an appropriate mono and rub it in. You make flour. Okay, I've climbed up on a rock here to get a better view of these. There's some squiggles. It looks like a Christmas tree. These are rakes. Archaic. Looks like a garden rake. Almost could be a foot below it. Interesting thing to the left of the rakes. And way up there, I don't know if it's spiral or circle, and some hands. Again, very old. Here's a big guy. That's his head. This is his body and legs. I'll have to step back if we can want to get them all in one. Better view of the whole panel.
I had a camera glitch and I lost audio, so I'm doing a voiceover here. This is looking at a panel I remember well. It's a favorite of mine. Look how deeply incised, with no color, this is, and it's really a very ancient thing. I include a picture here that I took back in 2012 because I think it shows the contrast a little better. Very impressive panel. And from there I headed off to look for the mammoths, past some bedrock metates along the way. And here I am approaching the rock that where I find the elephants. And I think you'll see here it indeed looks like an elephant there, clearly on the left, 4 legs, a trunk on the right. And the one to the right of it, actually, if you look closely at that too, I think you can make the same argument. So heck, I don't know. It does look like elephants. I can see why people would claim these are mammoth petroglyphs, and they are pretty old. Continuing along, some more bedrock metates. They tend to be grouped because grinding was a social thing. This obviously is a busy area. And this panel is important, I think, in this whole discussion, because look at all these animals. And the thing to note here is the guy with the bow and arrow here at the center. Bow and arrow is only about 1,500 years old at the most, which means these petroglyphs, although they look old, if anything, to me they look older than the elephant ones, are less than 1,500 years old. And there's another bow and arrow guy there. You know, that makes me pretty doubtful that that's really a mammoth. I can't explain why it looks like an elephant. And here's a picture of what I think is a bird, long neck thing, look like a tail feather. That's pretty cool.
Well, let's go see that mammoth again. Oh, I don't know if I saw this. It's another bedrock metate under a cactus here. Let's see, where do we see that? Here it is again.